What are some things clinicians can do, while working with neurodivergent people, to ensure that they aren't pushing neurotypical norms? I want to start with a small shift in how we think about this. This is not really about whether clinicians are kind or accepting. The deeper issue is that most interventions are built on hidden assumptions about what good behavior looks like, what good communication looks like, and even what a good life looks like. And without realizing it, we start treating neurotypical presentation as the goal. So the real question becomes, what exactly are we optimizing for? Some of these assumptions are so common that we don't even notice them. That if something looks unusual, it must be maladaptive. That independence is always the clearest marker of success. Or that non-compliance is mostly about motivation. But in reality, what looks like behavior might be sensory overload, motor difficulty, uncertainty, or a communication breakdown. So before we intervene, we have to ask, what if the assumption itself is wrong? For me, the biggest shift is this. The question is not, does this look typical? The question is this helping the person have less distress and more access? Because too often, we end up intervening on what is visible, how something looks from the outside, instead of what is actually harmful. And those are not the same thing. One practical way to apply this is to separate difference from harm. Ask 3 simple questions. If the answer is no, then we should pause and ask, why are we trying to change it? This is where a lot of overreach happens. For example, stemming gets targeted because it stands out, but some of it could serve a regulatory function. Another big shift is understanding that behavior is often the surface layer. Underneath it, you might have sensory issues, communication bottlenecks, or other health issues. So instead of asking, how do we change this behavior, a better question is, what is the barrier? And that leads to very different interventions. I think this is one of the most important points. We should not confuse compliance with well-being. You can train someone to look calm and follow instructions. I know super compliant peers who are the darling of their adult day programs because they will just simply sit in a corner all day and will not bother their support staff at all. Are we mistaking good behavior for apathy at the cost of anxiety and self-trust? Then, we have to rethink communication. Communication is not the same as speech. But in practice, speech is still treated as the gold standard. And that matters because it shapes expectations from the very beginning. What opportunities someone gets, how their intelligence is perceived, and how much support they receive. So if we say we support communication, we have to actually mean all forms of it. The goal is to reduce barriers, support regulation, expand communication, and increase agency, and once you shift that goal, everything about therapy starts to change.